Yeah, dear student, we continue with our chapter 4 business services, and in the previous class I gave you introduction about the various type of insurances as well as telecommunication services. In the previous class I uploaded even one PDF also. You can go through it to have a better understanding of the concept. Now today we are going to study one more service, a business service, that is called transportation. So transportation comprises freight services together with supporting and auxiliary services by all modes of transportation, that is rail, road, air and sea, for the movement of the goods and international carriages of passenger. You have already studied the comparative advantage and disadvantage of different modes of transportation in earlier classes. You have also studied the hindrance of the transportation. Without transportation we will not get the things which are produced in abundance in other state or countries and supplied to the places where it is scarce. So their current services are considered to be important for business since speed is of the essence in any business transaction. Also, transportation remove the hindrance of the place. It makes goods available to the consumer from the place of production to the point of consumption. Clear? And any developed country will have a very good means of transportation available. So we need to develop our transportation system to keep pace with the requirements of our economy. Very soon you have seen that ferry means carrying of passenger from sea route has been started from Surat to Diu in Gujarat by our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi. Clear? So these all things you will see that there is a huge need for development of the transportation for the faster movement of the goods and services. We need better infrastructure of the roads with sufficient width and high quality. We have few ports and that too are highly congested. So both the industry and government needs to be active and view the effective functioning of this service as necessary for providing a lifeline to a business service. In sectors like agriculture and food, there are massive losses of product in the process of transportation and storages. Clear? This NHI was established by our former Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee in the year 1999. That is called NHI. So in the first 50 years of independence, India saw the construction of around 13,000 kilometers of national highways. The ambitious NHI Government of India's project, consisting of Golden Quadrilateral connecting Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai and north-south, east-west corridor linking Srinagar to Kanyakumari and Silchar to Porbandar, will see the construction of 13,151 km of national highway within a span of 8 years. This project will not only change the face of road transport in India, but it will also have a lasting impact on our economy because it is going to save huge fuel. The Ministry of Railways have also done massive innovation in their movement and monitoring of the goods trains to facilitate the needs of the business community. The government of India is also serious in ensuring better and more facilities at seaports and airports to provide an impetus to the business activities. The government plans not only to enhance capacity of existing port but also to develop modern and new ports at strategic locations. So our next service is warehousing. So storage has always been an important aspect of economic development. The warehouse was initially viewed as a static unit for keeping and storing goods in scientific and systematic manner so as to maintain their original quality, value and usefulness. The typical warehouse received merchandise by rail, truck or bullock carts. The items were moved manually to storage within warehouse and hand piled in stacks on the floor. They are used by the manufacturer, importers, exporter, wholesaler, transporter, businesses, custom, etc. in India. Today's warehouse have ceased to be a mere storage service provided, and nowadays term is replaced by supply chain management in a cost efficient manner, that is making available the right quantity at right place in the right time in the right physical form at the right cost. Modern warehouses are automated with automatic conveyors, computer operated crane and forklift for moving goods, and also usage of logistic automation softwares for warehouse management. Now types of warehouse. First is private warehouse, are operated, owned and leased by company handling their own goods such as a retail chain, stores or multi-brand, multi-product companies. As general rule, an efficient warehouse is planned around a material handling system in order to encourage maximum efficiency of product movement. The benefit of private warehouse includes control flexibility, another benefit like improved dealer relations. Public warehouses can be used for storage of goods by traders, manufacturer, or any member of the public after the payment of storage fee or charges. The government regulates the operation of these warehouses by issuing licenses for them to private parties. The owner of the warehouse stands as an agent of the owner of the goods and is expected to take appropriate care of the goods. These warehouses provide other facilities also like transportation by rail and road. They are responsible for the safety of the goods. Small manufacturers find it convenient as they cannot afford to construct their own warehouses. The other benefits include flexibility in the number of locations, no fixed costs, and capability of offering value-added services like packaging and labeling. Next is bonded warehouse. Are licensed by the government to accept imported goods prior to the payment of the tax and custom duty. These are goods which are imported from other countries. Importers are not permitted to remove goods from dock or airport till custom duty is paid. At times, importers are not in a position to pay the duty in full or does not require all goods immediately. The goods are kept in a bonded warehouses by the custom authorities till the custom duty is paid. These goods are said to be in bond. These warehouses have facilities for branding, packaging, grading and blending. Importers may bring their buyers for inspection of the goods and repackage them according to their requirement. Thus it facilitates marketing of goods. Goods can be removed in part as and when required by the importers, and buyers and import duty can be paid in installment. The importer need not block funds for payment of import duties before the goods are sold or used. Even if he wishes to export the goods by kept in bonded warehouse, he may do so without payment of custom duty. Thus bonded warehouse facilitate inter-port trade. Next is government warehouses. These warehouses are fully owned and managed by the government. The government manages them through organizations set up in the public sector. For example, Food Corporation of India, State Trading Corporation and Central Warehousing Corporation. Next is cooperative warehouses. Some marketing cooperative society or agriculture cooperatives societies have set up their own warehouses for members of their cooperative society. Clear? Next is function of warehousing. So first is consolidation. In this function, the warehouser receive and consolidate material goods from different production plants and dispatches the same to a particular customer on a single transportation shipment. Next is break the bulk. The warehouse perform the function of dividing the bulk quantity of the goods received from the production plant into smaller quantities. These smaller quantities are then transported according to the requirements of clients to their place of businesses. Stockpiling. The next function of warehousing is the seasonal storage of the good to select businesses. Goods or raw material which are not required immediately for sale or manufacturing are stored in warehouses. These are made available to business depending upon customers' demand. Agriculture product which are harvested at a specific time with subsequent consumption throughout the year also need to be stored and released in lots. Next is value-added services. Certain value-added services are also provided by the warehouses, such as in transit mixing, packaging and labeling. Goods sometimes need to be opened and repackaged and labeled again at the time of inspection by prospective buyers. Grading according to the quantity and dividing goods in similar lots is another function. Okay. Price stabilization. By adjusting the supply of the goods with the demand situation, warehousing performs the function of stabilizing prices. These prices are controlled when supply is increasing and demand is slack and vice versa. Financing. Warehouses owners advance money to the owners on security of the goods and further supply of goods on credit terms to customers. So these are the basic function of. So these are the some basic function of the warehouses. One more thing is the Central Warehousing Corporation. At present, the central government undertaking CWC, Central Warehousing Corporation, provide these services for businesses across the country. Private warehousing company like TCA, Shankar International, Brula, DHL, etc. also providing cargo facilities of both transportation and warehousing. So I hope these all things will be clear to you. In case you are having any doubt, you can let me know. From my side, the chapter business services has been completed. Thank you.